Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hurricane HQ, and in this video I'll be providing the latest information on potential tropical cyclone 1 as it steers itself towards the Florida coastline and will likely make landfall tomorrow morning on the western Florida coast as a tropical storm at 45 to 50 miles per hour. Now currently we're taking a look at my current prediction here for where the storm could be going. It's basically my version of the forecast cone, and I believe it will become a tropical storm. Probably this tonight, actually, I believe it will be a tropical storm. Probably even by the next update at 11 p.m. But, yeah, by the time it does reach this point, I believe it will be a tropical storm, and may actually slightly intensify before impacting the Florida coast. There is especially warm sea surface temperatures there. I think the lower 80s, which is pretty... I wouldn't say it's the highest it could be, but it's definitely conducive for development of this storm. So we could be seeing some development of PTC 1 here as it does approach the Florida coast. Now, it does look like it will be moving quite fast, and it will maintain its strength as a tropical storm all the way into the Atlantic Ocean, where it actually may strengthen to near 50 miles per hour, and then eventually actually impact Bermuda as a tropical storm or subtropical storm. So, areas to watch include Florida, the northern Bahamas, and Bermuda for some not only heavy rainfall, but also some tropical or subtropical impacts. Now let's move into the day 1 excessive rainfall look here. You can see that it does look like we do have a pretty significant flooding threat here, especially in southern Florida. And this is for today, although the day 1 outlook does go all the way till, I believe, 7 a.m. tomorrow Eastern. So overnight is when we have the highest chance for excessive rainfall and flash flooding here in Florida, especially southern Florida, and even central Florida does have the chance as well there, even extending to Orlando area. But it does look like southern Florida is the main and risk area for excessive rainfall, and although there is the type of soil in southern Florida allows for that rain to drain quite quickly, there is still going to be a lot of rain dropping, over 8 inches in many areas there. So definitely high chances for excessive rainfall, and it's going to be coming down so fast that flash flooding can definitely still occur and will be a pretty big concern as we go into the overnight and into tomorrow morning. Now, as we take a look at the latest information on potential tropical cyclone 1 here, you can see our current location on it is 22.7 degrees north, 86.3 degrees west. Maximum winds are at 40 miles per hour right now, with gusts currently unknown, although it's likely that gusts are in the 50s, maybe upper 50s there. Minimum central pressure is currently at 1,003 millibars, and that may decrease below 1,000 millibars before landfall if the system does organize more and strengthen. Environmental pressure currently unknown. Radius of circulation currently unknown. Although our radius of maximum winds is 150 nautical miles. And currently this is a potential tropical cyclone with gale force winds, which basically means tropical storm force winds with this system, although it is not a tropical storm yet. Even if it doesn't actually develop and become a tropical storm, it will bring tropical storm impacts to the coast and even inland Florida there in those southern regions. So, yes, damaging winds is the primary threat with this, along with excessive rainfall. Now let's take a look at our current warnings and surface wind map here. You can see this is our wind field right here. This is the area where tropical storm force winds can be found. Currently, looks like far western Cuba is actually getting tropical storm force winds right now. And it's possible they actually might get some more, a little bit closer to Havana as well as we go into the overnight hours tonight. They have the potential for those stronger winds as well. And a tropical storm warning is in effect for just about all of western Cuba here. And a tropical storm watch remains in effect here for these regions right here, I guess, because there is still potential that the wind field could get much larger, possibly even bring tropical storm force impacts to those regions. We also have tropical storm warnings issued for much of South and Central Florida here. You can see all the way into the Keys. This is all tropical storm warnings here. And roughly the area I drew is where those warnings are. So, basically all of South Florida is included in these warnings. So, you definitely want to take it seriously and definitely bring in any loose objects before the storm does arrive. Because, I mean, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds is pretty significant and could definitely cause some minor damage, especially to those loose objects. And now as we go into the Bahamas, we also have a tropical storm warning for the northern Bahamas. And I believe this does also include Nassau there, the capital of the Bahamas there. So Bahamas is also in the path of this potential tropical cyclone. Now as we take a look at the current satellites, you can see it is actually getting a little bit more organized. It's hard to see. But if I just draw on here real quick, you can actually kind of make out a little bit of a center of circulation kind of starting to form over here, it looks like. And then we have some storms kind of circulating around there. Although, keep in mind, what defines a tropical storm or any tropical cyclone is it has to be very tight and it has to have the winds required for it, which is 35 or higher mile per hour for a tropical depression and about 40 mile per hour or higher for a tropical storm. And yeah, you could actually see here that we do have that spin. We have a lot of convection, especially surrounding that center of circulation. Although the center of circulation is quite broad and the storm is generally disorganized, which is mostly why they didn't categorize it as a tropical storm yet. Although, honestly, it looks like, just by looking at this, it's trying to get its act together, and it will likely become a tropical storm in the next 12 hours, I'd say. At least before landfall, I believe it will be a tropical storm. Now let's take a look at our most likely arrival time of tropical storm force winds. Now, as you can see, winds here are probably going to reach the Florida Keys around 2 a.m. tonight. And then eventually we'll actually reach the Florida coastline and mainland Florida by around Saturday, 8 a.m. there. So the early morning, middle morning, I guess you could call it, is when you're going to start seeing those impacts. And I actually may go live for the landfall of this, and as it does move through Florida. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be live all day covering this storm, but most likely in the morning, at least doing landfall coverage. When it does hit land at its peak intensity, I'll be live. So, yeah, expect a live stream with live coverage of this event tomorrow morning. But yeah, we do have the potential for tropical storm force winds all the way into Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. And then eventually Saturday, 8 p.m. It will begin impacting those eastern portions of the Bahamas there. And then eventually Bermuda actually has a chance for some tropical impacts on Monday morning to Monday evening, it looks like, is when those tropical impacts will be at their greatest. Next, let's take a look at our tropical storm force wind probabilities. Now, the chances do decrease quite significantly as it moves. Very high probability here, although that does decrease as we do get closer to the Florida coast. Although, honestly, I think it's going to keep those winds. It's mostly just, with time, the chances decrease. That's why you can see all the way out here, lower chances than here, because they're just not confident in where those winds will be. Although, I'd say there's pretty good confidence that there's going to be tropical storm force winds in this area right here. And now let's take a look at our potential tropical cyclone 1 storm surge forecast here. And this is actually based off the National Hurricane Center's forecast a little bit. Although I also did put a little bit of edits in it. And so this is technically my forecast and my opinion on it. So definitely use the National Hurricane Center for official information. But what I'm thinking is probably 1 to 2 foot storm surge here in this northern area. 2 to 3 foot here. Florida Keys and stuff will get about 1 to 2 feet. And then also the Bahamas has the potential to see about 1 to 2 feet, especially in these areas here. And maybe even some very minor storm surge on some of these islands over here. So there is also a chance for some storm surge in the Bahamas and some of those areas there. So if you live in or on the Florida coast, especially if you live right next to the beach, you do want to take this seriously. Figure out the elevation in your house, because if it's under 3 feet in some of these areas down here, then you could be experiencing some minor flooding. And finally, let's take a look at some spaghetti models. So currently, it does look like there's a lot of confidence with the most of the models that it's going to impact southern Florida. Where exactly in southern Florida? A little bit less confidence. Could go slightly more south or more north, but models are trending more north here. And on the right side here, a bit less confidence with the models, although it does look like a few are showing slight intensification before it does make landfall there, so that could be something to watch. And there's a lot less confidence of where it can go, but I'd say I'm pretty confident that's going to impact southern Florida somewhere there and eventually enter southern portions of central. And now as we take a look at the intensity guidance model here, you can see that most models are showing it getting stronger before landfall, possibly maybe it's a 50 mile per hour range, but no models actually bring it really over 45 to 50, and really no model brings it into hurricane categories or even near that. So I'd say the chance of a hurricane is pretty unlikely from this. There's just not enough time for this storm to develop enough to that level. And finally, my forecast confidence level, I'd say, is a high 70 to 80%. I'm very confident in the forecast right now, especially where it's going to go and the impacts. Probably 45 to 50 mile per hour, I'd say. I'm pretty confident in that. And I'm also confident in where it's going to hit. It's likely going to hit southern Florida. And yeah, I'd say I'm pretty confident in the forecast here. Now, of course, there is always uncertainty with these types of events, but honestly, I'd say for the track and the intensity, I think that's pretty on the spot where it's going to be tomorrow. Alright, well, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope everyone found it informative. And if anyone does have any further questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. My website is thehurricanehq.org. I have a lot of the maps I use in my videos on there, as well as much more. So definitely go check that out. My Twitter page, where I'll be posting a lot about this, is at thehurricanehq, as well as my Instagram is at thehurricanehq, and my YouTube channel that you are watching right now, youtube.com/thehurricanehq. That's my channel link if you ever need to find it again in the future. Now, thank you for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day.